That's me on Shark Tank.
Hello Sharks, how are you? My name is Uki Dean, I'm from the beautiful city of Buenos Aires, Argentina, and I am seeking a $200,000 investment in exchange for a 20% stake in my company.
To understand how I got on Shark Tank, first, we need to go back a couple of years when I was working at my corporate finance job in Argentina. I was spending extremely long hours at the office, pulling all-nighters and not getting paid nearly enough. I was working for the man, and I felt like I wasn't being valued for my hard work and effort. I wanted to get out of the matrix, be my own boss, travel, make my own decisions. I wanted to be at the beach, not stuck in some cubicle. I needed an idea. Remember these cool beanbags I had seen at the beach while on a trip in Thailand? They were super comfy to relax on, and what was cool about them is that you could throw them in the pool and they would float. I'd never seen anything like this in the United States, and I felt like it could be a huge success. I said, let's sell some beanbags. But there was a problem. I'd never started a business. I had no idea what I was doing. I wanted a partner to help me do this. I told my friends about the idea and they laughed. I thought, you know what? I'll just do it by myself. I wouldn't have to ask anyone for permission. Nobody was gonna slow me down. I could do anything I wanted. The next day, I looked at my boss in his eyes and I said, I quit. Well, not really. I said, thank you very much for this amazing opportunity, gave them a 1 month's notice until they could find my replacement, and then I went on my way. So, back to the beanbags, or as I called them, shakamat. Shakamat means hang loose in Hawaii. The theory is that some dude lost his finger, maybe a shark, but every time he waved, he made this gesture. So mine were like these chill shakamats to relax on. To start Shakamat, I'd save $10,000, but I never knew if this was enough to make it work. Every decision I made had to be well planned out, as I had to be very smart and careful on every penny I invested. Once I ran out, I'd have to go back to my office cubicle, and there was no chance in hell I was gonna do that. At college, I studied visual arts, film production, and business administration. As you might tell from my corporate finance job I just told you about, Hollywood wasn't the path I chose. However, I learned the skills to use design programs such as Illustrator and Photoshop, and also knew all the basic know-how to run a business. Or so I thought. First thing I had to do was build a website for under $1,000. So I designed a logo, made a mock-up of how I wanted the website to look, and secured my business domain, shakamat.com. Unfortunately, some dude called Matt Jensen had the Instagram username Shakamat reserved, so I ended up calling it The Shakamat. While I possess many skills, web development was definitely not one of them, so I had to find somebody to develop the website for me. After some research, I discovered Fiverr was a great website to find freelancers. Fortunately, I ended up finding a great Pakistani developer that was able to make his Shopify website for only $500. Next step was finding a manufacturer to make my beanbags. I headed to Alibaba.com and found several producers. I found 2 suppliers and then they produced a sample each, which they told me would take around 20 days. Whoever produced the better quality was the one I would choose. As I waited for the samples, I left everything behind in Argentina and purchased a $1,000 plane ticket to Miami, where I was planning to start my business. Miami offered a summer and beach destination all year round, and I could stay at my uncle's house at no cost as I set up my business. I registered my business in Florida, got my EIN tax number, and everything was going perfect until I received my first samples. Long story short, the same month my samples arrived, styrofoam became illegal in Miami beaches and my beanbags were made out of 90% styrofoam. Anyways, I took them to the pool, but it took over 3 days for the shakamats to dry completely, and they still leaked the nasty humidity smell. It turned out that shipping and storing costs were also extremely high, and I would have to sell each shakamat for over $500, and no one was gonna buy it at that price. It was a disaster. I had to pull the plug. My friends and family suggested I quit and get a real job, but failure was not an answer for me. I was determined to make my dreams a reality. I needed something that was smaller, lighter, less expensive to produce and affordable to sell. I decided to go to the beach to think, but I had lost my swim trunks. I drove to the mall to buy some new ones, but everything I found was overpriced, bad quality, and unfashionable, and they didn't have any short shorts. Everyone in the USA was wearing these long and fashionable trunks that took ages to dry. I grew up playing rugby and loved short shorts, but I couldn't find any. In Argentina, they sell them everywhere. How do they not sell them in the US? And that's when my light bulb went off. I was gonna make swim trunks. I remember my friends and family asking me, what do you know about fashion? The answer was nothing, but I knew how to design. I knew that the fashion industry had a very bad reputation for polluting, and I didn't want to be a part of it. So I researched and found out that there was an upcycle fabric made out of recycled plastic bottles. This meant that I could make each and every swim trunks out of recycled plastic bottles. This was awesome. Also, to reduce my carbon footprint, I was going to be committed to plant trees and also donate a percentage of each sale to clean up the ocean. My vision was set. I went back on Alibaba, found 3 manufacturers, negotiated prices, produced samples, came up with the name Bermies, made a logo, redesigned my website, and invested $6,000 into producing my first batch of 600 swim trunks. 2 months later, my first batch of swim trunks arrived. I now had the swim trunks, but I didn't have the brand. I needed to take pictures to create the essence of Bermies. While Miami was a great place to take pictures, Bermies stood for something different. It was about traveling, adventure, and exploring. It was about getting out of your comfort zone. I needed to create a photo shoot that gave up that vibe, but I was almost out of money. Fortunately, luck was on my side. I remember that flights to Southeast Asia during the rainy season were very cheap and found a round-trip ticket for $400 on China Airlines. Hostels there would cost less than $5 and I could eat for $2. I just had to pray for sunshine. So I put 20 swim trunks in my backpack and headed with my camera to Thailand, where I walked around the beaches and asked people who were on vacation if they could take their picture with a swim trunk in exchange for keeping it. I spent around $700 that trip and got the exact vibes I was looking for. With only $1,000 in my bank account, I now needed to start selling swim trunks urgently or I was going to be broke. I launched my websites and the orders started coming in. I'd grab my skateboard and hand deliver each one to the post office. As more people bought my product, I realized there was a potential to expand and I needed more money. A friend of mine suggested I do a Kickstarter campaign to help raise funds. The way Kickstarter works is that project creators make a video asking the community to help fund their project and make it a reality. I quickly made a video using footage I had gathered from a trip to Southeast Asia and launched my Kickstarter campaign. I asked for $10,000 and received $30,000. It was a complete success. People loved Bermies, and little by little, my dreams were becoming a reality. As demand increased, I could no longer deliver products with my skateboard and had to expand to a warehouse. To expand to more markets, I started investing in advertising, ambassadors, and influencers. While sales increased, every penny that came into the business, I reinvested. I remember skipping breakfast and lunch and eating discounted Subway sandwiches as my main meal just to save money. Selling online was good, but now I had the ambition of getting into stores. I walked into every store I could find in Miami, but they all turned me down. A friend of mine suggested I try a trade show, which is an exhibition where you get to show your products to buyers from all around the world. I did my first trade show in Orlando called Surf Expo, which is the largest beach resort lifestyle trade show in the world. Bermies was a complete hit. Every small boutique in Florida, the East Coast, and the Caribbean wanted my product. They ended up placing orders left and right and asked over $50,000 in swim trunks, to the point that I had to go out and ask for a loan to secure more production orders. I was on a roll, but once you start running, you can't slow down. I grew up watching Shark Tank, and it was my dream to be on that show. I finally had a business, and I was going to make it into Shark Tank no matter what. So I Googled, how do you get on Shark Tank? And their website said there were 2 ways to apply. You could apply online or attend an open call. Open calls had already been complete and would not be available for another year, so my only chances were to apply online. Without any response in sight, I realized there must be thousands of applicants, and if I wanted to get on Shark Tank, I'd have to go the extra step to get noticed. So I Googled the Shark Tank production companies, found the producers of the show on LinkedIn, and decided to create a video pitch for them to see. Thanks to the fact that I had the producer's name, all I had to do was guess their email addresses, which is usually the first dot last name at the company they work for. To confirm the emails, I also use this website called Rocket Reach, which guesstimates the person's emails based on their LinkedIn profile. 2 days later, I got an email. It said, "Call me at the number below." It was one of the producers.
Hello Sharks, how are you? My name is Uki Dean, I'm from the beautiful city of Buenos Aires, Argentina, and I am seeking a $200,000 investment in exchange for a 20% stake in my company.
There are millions of applicants in life, but the ones that are selected are not the smartest ones or the ones that have the best ideas, but those that are persistent and willing to show that they're willing to go that extra mile. Even though I didn't get the deal, I never felt more motivated to prove them that they missed out on one of the best investments of their life. Today, we sell men's swim trunks, shirts, shorts, performance clothing, women's, kids, basically anything you can imagine. Starting a business is about failing and finding cost-creative ways to get back up. I hope you liked this episode. Don't forget to check out Bermies at bermies.com and hopefully snag a pair, and I'll see you guys on the next adventure. Peace out, guys.